Hey guys, Big Apple here again with another video. Here to talk to you today about rifles and carbines and using them for home defense. So is a rifle or carbine good for home defense? And here are some things that should be considered when deciding if you want to. Do you have a muzzle brake or flash hider? Because that will make the gun very loud. So for example, on my AR, as you can see, I've got a flash hider on the end. These things do make rifles a lot louder since they're dispersing the gas around the edge, and they're designed to reduce recoil, reduce flash, whatever. They are extremely loud. One thing to know about that though is when in a fight or flight situation, there's a phenomenon called auditory exclusion. I've never been in a situation where I've had to fight for my life before, but from people that have done it before, they've said that you really don't hear anything and you really don't do anything. You kind of just react. You just go into instinctual mode, and you just kind of do. You don't really act. So having a flash hider or a muzzle brake on a rifle indoors isn't really something that would probably be that big of a deal if you were really defending your home. But if you're training, it's something to remember that in close quarters it's going to be a lot louder. So next I have caliber. So capacity and follow-up shots. It's really up to the user. Mainly here I'm talking about like ARs and AKs. Those are the main two carbines for home defense that I'm discussing here. I'm not really talking about a 308 M1A or an FN SCAR 17S, which is also a 308. I'm mostly talking about lightweight short carbines like a 16-inch AR or an 18-inch AR or 16-inch AK, but I'll get more to that later. So capacity, I have 30 rounds is very adequate, although in this AR you can see I have a 20-round PMAG in it. That's mainly for the bipod, but regardless, you have a lot more rounds in this than you would have in a handgun or in a shotgun, so you do get more chances to hit whatever it is that you're trying to shoot at. Then I have length. This 20-inch is way too long, so 16 or shorter would be ideal. Obviously shorter than 16 you would need an SBR. But an SBR permit to own it. But obviously, this is a long-range AR. I have a 20-inch heavy barrel on it. It weighs, I don't know, the upper itself weighs like 7 or 8 pounds. It's really heavy under that handguard. So it shoots very well, but to try to use this thing in tight quarters would be pretty idiotic. And then I also have optic. So this 12-power scope isn't really ideal. So probably the best sights you could use, if you're going to use iron sights, I suggest you get some tritium inserts. I think Troy makes some good battle sights that have little tritium inserts in them. You get a holographic sight like your EOTech. Those are pretty expensive, but they're very usable. Or you could get a reflex like a Fast Fire or an RMR. I didn't put in there a regular red dot, but if you have an aim point on your gun, that's also a fantastic red dot. That would be great for quick target acquisition, close range. I don't suggest magnified optics in the home. Obviously, maybe that's kind of obvious to some of you, but I wouldn't put a 3x magnifier in front of an EOTech sight if I was trying to use it in my home. So for stock, you really want something collapsible, and although this has a Magpul ACS stock, as you can see here, if this thing wasn't a 20-inch AR, this would be good because when you shorten up the length, by collapsing the stock like this, you make it a lot easier to maneuver around tight corners. You can keep it close to your shoulder and keep it in a ready position. You don't have to keep it low or completely off of your shoulder. So really for a rifle or a shotgun, I suggest a collapsible stock if you're going to use it for home defense. It just makes it a lot easier to maneuver around corners, makes it easier to point, easier to get on target quicker. So the main question I hear a lot is, what about ammo? Well, my best suggestion for ammo would be a varmint round, and the reasons are very low penetration since it's frangible, you have maximum energy transfer where you want it, and you have low risk of collateral damage. So this is one of my hand-loaded Hornady VMAXs here. This is a frangible round. What it's designed to do is penetrate about, 5, 6, maybe 7 inches, and then completely disintegrate and transfer all the energy from that motion into whatever it is you're shooting at. So this is, in my opinion, ideal because it's not going to pass through the guy. It's going to dump all the energy from that round into that guy, and it's going to do some serious damage. I've heard of reports of hunters shooting coyotes or varmints with frangible rounds, and they say it looks like you dropped a grenade in their chest. It really disintegrates everything. So while that's not a good hunting round for hunting deer or something, it's great for home defense. It's really, in my opinion, the best. So why not 5.56 ball? And I say, you risk over-penetration. There's not enough energy in the target compared to the frangible round, and you have a risk of collateral damage. So what I mean by that is, here's a 5.56 NATO round. What this bullet is designed to do is hit the target and then tumble. It's designed to go end over end. One of the ends is heavier than the other one, and it's designed to tumble. So when you're shooting at your target, whoever it may be, enters them, tumbles, splits into pieces if possible, but then there's a lot of leftover kinetic energy. As that bullet is leaving the target, all that energy it's taking with it is unused. It's using that energy to throw it out on, a wall or, a piece of brick or concrete or maybe even another person, but it's not putting that energy where you want it to be. You want all of that energy to be dispersed into whatever it is you're shooting at. So that's why I don't suggest that. You have a higher risk of collateral damage because it could possibly leave your target. So why not a hunting round? Well, what is the hunting round designed to do? Here I have a Barnes TTSX on the table I'm going to show you, and it's been suggested by some. So while it does damage, it's designed to enter and exit, so it's not ideal. This is a 260 Remington round here. This is a Barnes TTSX, the tip triple shock. It's an all copper bullet. What this bullet is designed to do is enter the target, open up, have regular steady expansion, and exit. It's designed to exit so you have a blood trail and you're able to track your game. So why would you want to have the bullet possibly exit? Even if it does dump a good bit of energy into the target, it doesn't dump nearly as much as this one. It's not putting the energy where you want it to be. You want it to be in that target. You don't want it to exit and carry more energy with it. So even suggested for 300 blackout sometimes, or an all copper Barnes bullet or whatever. And I just don't think any sort of hunting round is good for a home defense scenario. I also have listed here, well, what about a regular spire point? Well, it all comes down to the bullet design, and you're still risking over penetration. So I don't have a regular spire point on the table. This is a hand-loaded 223 Remington hardball round with an FMJ, pretty much identical to that 5.56, probably just not as high pressure. But a spire point typically is designed to exit also. So it really just goes back to bullet design. If it's designed for hunting, why would you use it on a person if it's designed to exit and leave a blood trail? You really don't need a blood trail if you're shooting someone who's trying to kill you. That's just the way it is. You want to dump all the energy into that target. So I've heard this ridiculous argument before. So like, what if they're wearing armor or heavy clothing? Well, this is ridiculous in the fact that a varmint round is still going to do considerable damage. It's still traveling over 3,000 feet a second, and there really isn't a risk of under penetration. So, well, what if criminals come to your house armed to the teeth and they're wearing sappy plates, and you're shooting them with a varmint round that isn't going to penetrate through body armor? Well, I've never worn a steel plate and taken a round before, but that round is still doing over 3,000 feet a second. When it hits them, regardless of whatever they're on, they are definitely going to feel it. Whether or not it's going to kill them, they're going to feel it. I still think this is the ideal choice. If they're wearing heavy clothing, the bullet is still going to penetrate through the clothing. Even if it does barely start to break up before then, it's still putting the energy where you want it to be. You're ultimately not wanting that bullet to leave your target and continue going on. You want to, obviously not with this rifle, but you want to shoot it at the end right there, and you want it to stop in whatever it is that you're shooting. You don't want it to keep going. So my ultimate advice for a home defense round, any sort of frangible varmint round like this VMAX, or Barnes varmint grenade, or let's see, Nosler makes a Varmageddon. So anything along those lines I would suggest. I think the Hornady Tap that they make has some sort of variant of a varmint round. So as long as you stay within that realm of low penetration and maximum energy transfer, I think you are well on your way to having a great home defense carbine with the right ammo. So this is Big Apple signing out. Thanks for watching.